So, Mrs. Gearhead's gonna kill me because I actually went back to the used book sale that the library has every Labor Day weekend. I got some more books. In fact, I didn't know this, but they had today was one of those days where you could fill up a bag for $5, and you get $5 worth of books. So if you just stuff that whole bag full with books, you can get as many books as you want almost. But I I did that, and I put it in one of these carry bags too to make it even easier to carry. And everybody was like, "Oh, I should have done that," because I saw some real people just carrying this, paper bag, and books were just falling out all over the place, and people are trying to stack it because people are going crazy. It was actually fun to see all these people, all these bibliophiles just buying books, and I saw young people, old people, fat people, thin people, um, people of all races and all kinds of stuff, religions and things like that. How could I tell that? Well, some were wearing headscarves and stuff like that, or that sea cat or whatever you put it on. So I just guesstimated that they were not Christians, but you never know. Anyhow, so I got some reading ahead of me, but this is basically $15 worth of books. And as you can see, I'm a big non-fiction kind of reader. Got books on Oklahoma, the Oklahoma bombing, the rescue, because I'm kind of like into that first responder kind of stuff. This is about the Renaissance men. Fascinating stuff. Of course, the history of Western society. Book about information war. This might be a good one because it's about media manipulation and things like that going on back in the 60s, I think, and all that stuff. It's amazing how stuff never changes. Book about the Romans, political thought. Incident at Big Sky. This is this looks like a really good book. It's about some mountain men, and apparently they kidnapped somebody, and then this one lone sheriff tracks him down in the mountains of Montana and finally brings them to justice. So it's an actual story. So that should be an interesting one. And then you get the sociology of social problems. Maybe that will bring some insight into the whole YouTube thing, right? Behind Enemy Lines, The Emperor's Last Soldiers and stuff. The Emperor's Last Soldiers should be an interesting one because it's about that guy, that Japanese guy who was kind of like the last holdout or whatever on some island, and I guess that's his story or something like that. And then I just got some dictionaries, well, encyclopedias, sorry. But these are out of date. But I like reading out of date books. It's really gives you a completely different perspective. And some ideas and things never go out of date, so that's interesting. And Terrorism and the Liberal State. I actually wrote my bachelor's degree on democracy and terrorism. How the democratic state should handle terroristic threats and stuff like that. So I'm always interested in that kind of stuff. In combat, that's about women in combat in Vietnam. Well, they're not actually in combat, but their experience being like nurses and stuff like that, which I think is a really good thing if with stuff like that. Yeah, studies in classical American literature. Underwater Warriors, that's about demolition guys in World War II. Of course, Dictionary of Military Biography. A lot of Patton stuff. I'm a big fan of Patton. A Nation of Sheep. That should be a good. That's also going back to the 60s and things like that. And yeah, that's probably relevant today too. San Francisco earthquake. That probably might talk about that one on my Disaster Nut channel, which I have neglected for so long. Foundations of Western Civilization, the Middle Ages, a biography of Mao. Let's see what we got here. Great Britain since 1688, and the development of contemporary civilization. The Nomenclatura. This is a really out of date book, but it's about that political class, the social elite class during the Soviet Union, and we might be heading towards that elite class here in America. History of Public Speaking in America, and the one that I was talking about yesterday, the Book of Virtues, with William J. Bennett. But yep, I'm gonna get my read on, but I just wanted to show you that you don't have to be a millionaire. If you go to a used book sale, you can pick up a lot of good stuff. So I'll give this a few months to walk myself through this pile. Probably not going to read every single entry in the encyclopedia stuff, but who knows, I might get bored and I might just do that. But yeah, have a good one.